Hey everybody, do you want to know all about entertaining with ease? Do you want to know about entertaining on weekdays, school days, game days, weekend days, you name it? Well, you are in the right place. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Virginia Willis, and I'm the host of Cookbooks with Virginia. We air every Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube. Then it's uploaded to IGTV afterwards. So even if you aren't catching this live, you're going to want to stay tuned because I've got a great guest. I'm super excited today. I have Elizabeth Heiskell, and she and I have been hooting and hollering already all morning. She is the author of Come On Over. Just awesome energy, great friend, like renowned caterer in Mississippi. I mean, she knows all about entertaining, and I'm so excited to have her on today. And she's got four weddings this weekend, and she has taken the time to be on Cookbooks with Virginia. So let's just bring her on and get going.
Hey, honey, how are you?
I am good. I'm so excited to see you, and thank you so much for being a guest today.
Oh, my Lord. Are you kidding me? I'm so happy to be here. I cannot even tell you. It's only 30 minutes, though. Can't we make it like 5 hours so I don't have to go back to my real life?
And then I had forgotten when I got the copy of your book, I forgot that Angie Mosier did the photography. So that if we add Angie to the mix, it might need to be like 10 or 12 hours, right?
She's only the best in the business. I've never in my life. I mean, and that's the thing is that this book, I mean, it's the recipes are great, but she made it what it is. It wouldn't have been nothing without her photography and Tom Driver's styling. You know, I mean, you forget about all of that. You know, I do everything that I can do to make these recipes the best recipes in the world, recipes that people are going to want to cook over and over again and pass down to their kids. But it's if you don't have that component, and boy, I mean, she hit it out of the park.
No, I know you are so right. You are so right. And she is so talented. But before we get into that too much, I want to ask you, just tell the folks a little bit about your story. Like, how have you come? I mean, people know you, they see you on TV, they see you all over the place, but tell folks just a little bit about you and how you are and how you've gotten this great book.
You know, I just, it's so interesting to me that when I was younger, I never realized that cooking could actually be a career for me. It was never really much of a thought. I started working for a catering company in Memphis, Tennessee, another roadside attraction. Karen Carrier is still my mentor and probably one of the most fabulous people that I know. And so I did that in high school, and then I even did it in college. And I would always go back to catering and working with her during the holidays and things like that. And so I was not the best student. I mean, literally dumb as a box of rocks. I'm not kidding. Like it is so bad. But anyway, and I couldn't at school. We did not do well. And so I ended up getting married and having my first child, and was planning on raising her and having more children, and and that was going to be my work. And I had this friend who I adored. And she had just gotten married, and her husband, we would hang out every day. Every day she would come over, we'd drink coffee, we would, go have lunch, we would shop, we had the best time. And he said, you have got to get a job. You have to get a job, Jensen. And so it was so bad that I would like load up the car with Stott, my daughter, and I would sit outside while she was in the interviews, and then we would go eat lunch. I mean, it was terrible. And so I decided that instead of her, getting a job, we would come up with our own business. So we did, and it was called Instead of Flowers. And so basically if somebody died or had a baby, we would take food. So don't order flowers, you're going to call us, and we are going to bring food over. It was, of course, her husband called it Instead of a Job, but whatever. We did a lot of TV watching in our pajamas, but anyway, it was great. And so that quickly turned into the catering. And then here we, and then it just kind of unfolded. Everything started kind of moving quickly from the catering company and into more, sort of a different world when we moved to Oxford. So we started Woodson Ridge Farms here. And it was a vegetable farm. And we sold vegetables to restaurants in Oxford and Memphis and ultimately Nashville. And so we grew vegetables. I sold the vegetables on a prison van in the middle of the summer. It was hot as the hinges of hell. I have never in my life been so tired. And so that's when, things started kind of changing. We had a lot of chefs that came in. I was still working at Viking Range Corporation and cooking there. And things just kind of started to gel, and it turned into, a real job, a real career.
And I love that. And I think that shows, well, first of all, I'm going to go back to this. You are not as dumb as a box of rocks in school. You are. It's just like, being contained by that. But like your ingenuity and your spunk, and I guess just like, there's so much to do in the food world, and I think that catering is just like one of those, it's a large in charge business, right? Like if you have the cojones, balls, ovaries, whatever it is. I mean, it doesn't need to be balls, right? If you have the ovaries to go into catering, I mean, that is a strong thing. So the title of your book, I'm going to start chatting with you and forget while we're here.
Good.
So y'all, the title of her book is Come On Over. So come on over. And if you want to win a free copy, you're going to go to my Instagram feed. You're going to like me. You're going to like Elizabeth. All the instructions are right there. And then we're going to have the giveaway all weekend long. And then we'll choose a winner on Monday morning. And y'all, if you like to have, these recipes, you don't have to entertain. If you want to entertain yourself with some delicious food, you can. but I love it. It's all like so doable. I mean, I love the doableness part.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing, is that I want people to come together. I want a Monday to be just as fun and special as New Year's Eve. I mean, honey, we only have how many New Year's Eves in a year? We got one.
I know.
So if you're waiting on New Year's Eve to have a good time, if you're waiting on New Year's Eve to invite people over, you're going to be one sad soul. Virginia, I had my great-grandmother, I just thought the world of her. And she had this little friend, and her name was Patsy. And Patsy was about this big, and she was at least 110 years old, or at least that's what she looked like to me when we would go and visit her. And so when we'd go to her apartment, great-grandmama would load me up, we'd drive over there, and I would sit down on her couch. Now, you have to mind you, her house was 98 degrees summer and winter. It was the hottest place. And so I would sit down in my shorts, and she had plastic on all of the furniture. That thick, heavy, I don't even know where you find these things, but they were plastic slip covers. And I can remember leaving driving off with grandmother, and I said, I don't understand. I said, when is Patsy going to take that plastic off of her furniture? And she said, well, I don't know, honey, why? And I said, well, what is she waiting on? Like, Miss Patsy, grandmama, is about to die. I mean, this woman had one foot in the grave and one on shaky ground. Patsy didn't have a lot of time. And it's just like, my God, Patsy, live a little. Enjoy what you have. And so that's what we're going to do. I want Monday night to be fun. I want you to spice up and have a good time making lunches for your kids, which can be the worst job in the entire world. Yes. I want your game days to be special. I want weeknights, just a regular old Tuesday. Why can't that be fabulous? No, and I know we don't have a lot of time. I mean, I was telling you earlier, this week is a little hectic for me. And Lucia, my precious Lucia, who is a freshman at Ole Miss, she called and she was like, Mom, all my friends want to come over and eat. And, I didn't have time. But I'm telling you, I would have died before I told her no. And so, so you throw some things together real quick. Maybe you need, a little bit of help from a box mix or like this dip, a canned chili, but you pull it together, and it's about the memories that are made. Yes, the food's important, but it's about those connections. And so I want to give people an easy way out.
No, I think that's true. And I know that probably it happens to you too. You're a caterer and you have cookbooks and people think that, everything A is made like, they have this misperception, myself included, that, all we do is like eat like all handcrafted artisan
hummingbird tongue on toast. Yeah, lots of hummingbird tongue on toast, and that's what we make. I mean, you're not going to find any hummingbird tongue on toast in this recipe book. I mean, just not going to.
No, exactly. And I think that I've loosened up myself a lot with that. You know what I mean? Like, because I used to work for Martha Stewart. Oh my God, that was my training.
I can't even imagine. She would run me out of that kitchen so damn fast.
I'm just going to tell you that I would say yes, she probably would.
She would. She would.
At least she likes being the large. Martha has her own place, right? Martha is queen of the kitchen, right? And so everyone else has to sort of maneuver around that. But yes, there are many recipes from hummingbird tongue on toast, right? Like everything is like so specific. And actually working for her is what made me sort of have the attitude that I have. Like, this is so come on over is like real food for real people. And you don't have to once upon a time, a million years ago, you would have to order everything online. Now you can get stuff online and it can be there the next day because of Amazon. But, the grocery store in Oxford is different than the grocery store in Atlanta. The grocery store in Oglethorpe, Georgia, where I grew up, is different than the grocery store in Macon, Georgia. Right. So it's like between ingredients and finding stuff. And then who has time to go to 4 different places to try to find something. So I really love your approach with this book.
And these are recipes that, they're not hokey recipes. I mean, these are recipes that were my grandmother's recipes. They're my mother's recipes.
Who doesn't love that?
Yeah. I mean, but I'll tell you one damn thing, that's the best spaghetti you'll ever taste in your life. Oh my God, that pork shoulder. The good news about that pork shoulder is you make it on a Sunday, you're still going to be eating it on Saturday. Okay, limoncello. Who doesn't love a little sparkling cocktail for a party? So, tacky meatballs. Okay, so tacky meatballs. Virginia, let me tell you, when we did tacky meatballs on the Today Show, it literally broke the internet. I mean, it was everywhere. Oh, those are Mama's bread and butter pickles.
Oh my God. And we were talking in the beginning, butter poached shrimp. Yum. I want that right now.
And that's one of my favorite summer recipes. And that is, one of the chapters is summer days. So in the summertime, you just have that hankering where you want to just eat every single thing, every tomato, every peach, every blueberry. And that's what that whole chapter is about, is utilizing all of those wonderful things.
Holy heck. I didn't see this when I looked through before. Peanut, but PB&J wings.
Oh, hell yeah. So that's the tailgate chapter. Which is where we are right now with Oxford and Hottie Toddy, and we are getting in the Grove and we are having the time of our lives.
Well, I know someone commented.
And we are playing Alabama this weekend.
All I have to say about that as a Georgia fan is Hottie Toddy. There's not much more in this earth that I would love than Ole Miss to go to Alabama and beat.
We're a little nervous. We are a little nervous, but I have a really great feeling. The last time we beat them, we were in Chattanooga and we watched it. And this weekend, Luke is in Chattanooga, my husband. So I'm feeling it. I really am. It's gonna be fun.
It would be a big deal. I can't get too big in my silver britches though, because what might happen is Ole Miss will win and Georgia will lose to Arkansas. I don't want to give all my good vibes for that. But let's talk a little bit about tailgating, because we are in high tailgating season. And so, that I think is something between, having to get to the stadium if people really are tailgating, or if people are coming over. Like, I know that y'all's game tomorrow is 3:30 Eastern Standard. Georgia is at noon. But by the time, they're telling people to be on site at 11. That means you're tailgating at 10:30 in the morning. So what are some tips and techniques that you can share, from Come On Over about tailgating? Like, what is, how to make it not a pain?
Right. Well, one of the things that you want to make sure is that you can, whatever you're serving, you literally can hold a drink, hold a conversation, and hold it in your hand. Okay. So that is the basic rule for any tailgate. You got to be able to hold three things at one time.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. Those three. So don't, like, if you want to put, let's say you're going to make egg and olive sandwiches, that's perfect. You can pick that up, put it in your mouth. But not egg and olive with a cracker and then this, and you're going to have to make that, and no, ma'am. And, the thing is that you're going to have to transport it. And so you have to think about things that are going to be okay once they're smushed, maybe, stepped upon, or,
Food safety is important too. You don't want to get everybody sick, right? I mean,
it is. It absolutely is. And, so once you get it out there, then, wait until you've got, maybe an hour and a half before the game, and then start pulling out all your food. But, that's the key, is just making sure that it's food that it's going to sop up some alcohol in somebody's system, especially for those day games, those poor sorority girls, honey. Oh, God, if they start too early. Because then that's the problem, is that you're drunk, and it's still daylight, so you got
I know that the networks really enjoy the big SEC games at 7:00, and there's a reason they're so loud and loud. Because people had bourbon for breakfast about 10 hours prior, and there's a reason why there's more than the lights are lit, right?
Right, absolutely. But you just need to kind of, you're playing to your audience. I always do some sort of really great ham and biscuits. This recipe that we're going to do is one of my favorites when it starts to get a little bit colder. And so this is a hot tamale dip, and it is to die for.
All right.
All right, well, let's do it. So this is a recipe that my grandmother always made. And she would do it only in the wintertime during cocktail hour. And I would be so excited, because normally she would do, brie, and she'd do a blue cheese. Where she found this in the middle of Mississippi Delta, I do not know, in the early 80s, late 70s, but she did. And anyway, and Triscuits, which I hated Triscuits. I love them now, but I hated them then. But when the fireside dip came out, I'd be so excited. So what we do, it couldn't be any easier. Well, she calls it fireside, but it's really a tamale dip.
That's cute.
And so you don't laugh at me, Virginia, but you're going to use 1 can of chili. And I said a can of chili. If you've ever wondered why in the world somebody would can chili, this is the reason. And who buys it? It's me. I'm only buying it for this recipe, though. So canned chili, and then we have Rotel tomatoes. We're going to mix that up. And then on the same aisle with the canned chili, which you've probably never even seen these, there are canned hot tamales. Now, normally I use Joe's White Front hot tamales from Rosedale for this dip. If you have a great source for some Delta tamales, definitely, definitely use those. But for my northern friends that I was worried about that might not be able to get their hands on some good tamales, we're going to use the canned ones. And it's what my grandmother used. Now, just kind of break them up. You don't have to get real aggressive with them. You kind of want some nice big chunks of the tamales in this dip. We're going to add 4 cups of cheddar cheese. And to save a little bit for the top, we've got some Worcester, some green onions, and a little bit of garlic powder. Now, for a tailgate, what I love about this is making a Frito pie. So once you're going to make this, and this dip is still fabulous even at room temperature. Of course, it's incredible hot, but if you take it to the Grove or if you take it to your tailgate, it's still unbelievable room temp. So we're going to mix this up, and then we're going to put it in our little bowl. And so what we would do is we serve it with the little Frito bag. So I would pile those all up around my dip. And then your guests can open up that bag. They can pour a little bit of this fabulous, or spoon a little of this fabulous dip right on top. Add a little bit of sour cream. Add a little bit of guacamole. A little salsa. And
it's
then, see, so look, so here we are, you know, you hold it, you can eat it, still have a conversation. Life's good in the Grove.
Oh my God. There was someone, I got the biggest smile on my face when they saw that you're going to be a guest on the Facebook. They said that their dream was to have you cater their event at the Grove. That was their
the end all be all. Well, tell them to give me a call. We can probably make that happen, depending on the game.
I love that. I love that dip. And, you know, I mean, I think the thing is like, that's part of it. Like there, you know, oh, Virginia, you've probably never seen this canned chili. Well, heck yeah. You know what I mean? If you can find a good product that you like and your family likes, and it's going to shave off some time. I mean, who has time to make chili and then to turn it into a dip? Right.
And then still get to the Grove and get your damn clothes on and get your makeup done. Yeah. And you got to make sure that you got your flask. I mean, you got a lot of things to think about on game day. You understand? And so if we can make a little bit, and I'm not saying I don't like canned chili, I don't like canned tamales, but when you mix them all up in this dip with some cheese, honey, it's a whole new world.
No, exactly. And I know that you have a fabulous catering menu, and I always laugh too because, you know, like when you go to a party or something like that, you know, especially down south, you know, people can be hoity-toity about this, that, and the other. But you know as well as I do, the pigs in the blankets are the first damn thing that go off the buffet.
Honey, that and the damn chicken tenders. And I won't. I mean, for years, I would say, no, absolutely not. We are not doing chicken tenders. I'm terribly sorry. But if you want chicken tenders, then you need to go to another catering company. And I was real snooty about it. That and a Ritz cracker. You're not going to see a Ritz cracker on one of my buffets, even though secretly I've got Ritz crackers right here in my thing. It's like one of those things that you eat in private. But anyway, and so then I finally was like, you know, so what? Let him have the damn chicken tenders and we do a milk gravy and chicken tenders and whoosh. Oh, it's so good.
Oh God. No, that's good. Well, I think that part of that, honestly, having the confidence as a cook or, you know, as a self-taught cook or as a trained chef or whatever you are, there takes a certain or just a home cook, there takes a certain level of confidence, frankly, and security, right? Like I'm not going to be, what are people going to judge, right? Like who cares? So, but you
do. Well, but you know, that's how I felt though. I mean, I have to tell you, Virginia, because of Viking, because of Carol Puckett, I was put in a lot of positions that with a lot of chefs who are incredibly talented. You actually were one of them, and I know you don't even remember this, but my first event that I ever was allowed or asked to go to, not allowed to go to, like they allowed me. But anyway, Carol took me, and we went to IACP in New Orleans. Your cookbook had just come out. And we went to your opening party, and that was my first event at a big, you know, deal. And I just thought, oh my God, like if I could just ever even be somewhere near or close to, I mean, and then you saw me a couple of times during that conference, and you spoke to me, and you were kind, and you were so nice, and at that point, it was kind of that thing of, because I had seen you on this pedestal, everyone was celebrating you. But then when we were walking somewhere, you would say, hey, Elizabeth, you know, and it made me realize that I have just as much of reason to be there as you do. And, you know, and even though my recipes aren't take 17 million hours and, you know, they're different, it's still valuable because it's bringing people together. It's something that I do to celebrate others, to love others. And, you know, and that makes it valuable. And so, you know, I do appreciate that. And I needed to tell you that because it really did. It made an impression on me that I won't soon forget. And the fact that my name and your name are both on this damn computer screen together and you're actually talking to me is a damn miracle from heaven above is what it is.
That is
Like, can you even believe it? Like, I was just excited to be in the same room with you when your book came out back at IACP. And now, honey, we are talking.
Oh my God. Well, the reality is back then I was scared to death. It was my first book, and I'm just so glad that I was nice and I wasn't like shy and scared and all that kind of stuff. So, you know,
You were lovely.
Right. But what your attitude, exactly what your attitude is, I think is like what a lot of people have about entertaining. People get scared to death about entertaining. They get scared to death about being judged by other people and the food. And I think honestly, what you have done with Come On Over is just like it makes it real for people with the accessibility of ingredients, with the ease of the recipes, right? And then how and how you've sort of like just divided it into what life is. And there were two things in your introduction that I really loved.
Thank you for getting that, Virginia. Thank you for getting that, because that's the deal, is that people are, when you open up your home, you're being vulnerable. I mean, that is just the way it is. You are. People are coming into your world, and you do feel like, oh my God, they're going to judge me if my, you know, and I mean, you're running around, you got dust, trying to get the dust bunnies, you mean screaming at everybody, don't touch the damn guest towel! Stop! Where the guest? Why did you use a guest towel? You know, and I mean, Virginia, if I'm doing that and I own a catering company before my Christmas party or before whatever, I'm surprised that anybody ever entertains. So that is the key. People are coming over because they want to be around you. They're grateful to be included. They're not coming over to judge you and to see how your guest towels look. They don't give a damn, you know, especially after COVID. Honey, this is the time. But I mean, listen, you invite somebody over for some stale nuts and some warm beer, and they're like, hell yeah, I'm coming. Shit, yeah.
Party!
I'm coming. Yeah. I mean, they don't give a, this is it. It's like fishing in a barrel, you know? I mean, it's easy. This is the time.
The bar is pretty low right now, right?
That's the damn truth.
The bar is pretty low. Everyone's like, oh my God, I get to go somewhere. That is hilarious. No, well, you had two things in your intro that I really loved. And the first part was about the anecdote with your friend about a Monday. Like a Monday is just like any other day. It's just a word and how you celebrate it, right? So I loved that. I mean, you know, because your busiest days, like you wrote, are on the weekends. And I feel like I work 7 days a week. So whatever my weekend is the day that I decide. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then the other thing that I really loved was she quickly responded, no one is coming to my table who is more important than me. That's an amazing little anecdote of self-care.
Yes. That was my great-grandmother, Mrs. Elizabeth Paxton. And she had asked me to come for lunch. And when I got there, I mean, everything. I mean, her china, her silver placemats were out. I mean, everything, pressed linen. And I said, Grandmama, is somebody else coming? And she said, no. And I said, well, you went, but you put all this out. And she said, no one is coming to my table that's any more important than I am. She loved it. It made her happy. If she wasn't doing it for someone else, she loved it. And she loved that experience.
Who's literally sitting over there, uses her silver every day. It's like, what are you waiting on?
Come on, Patsy. Exactly. Don't be a Patsy. Use your stuff that makes you happy. And I don't care if it's some old napkin or if there's a flower outside that you love, cut it, bring it in. Yeah. It makes life so much more special. And we're not promised anything on this earth. And you got to live while you're here.
No, this is so true. Oh my God. Okay. This is what I knew would happen. I knew that we would want to talk for 5 hours. And we can't. And I know you've got a lot to do. I'm going to remind people that I've got a couple questions. So y'all, I've gotten all these comments. Get her a TV show ASAP. I'd love to see Lizzie's house. She's fun. Yes, all of that is so true. So if you want to win a copy of this wonderful book, I want you to go to my Instagram feed, follow the instructions, and we'll pick a winner on Monday. And I have just a couple of questions for you that I like to ask people every week, sort of to wrap up. So my first question is, what is one of your favorite cooking tools? Like you're entertaining and you're busy, and what is one of those things that you always wind up grabbing? She's gonna grab it right now.
I'm gonna go get it. All right, I'm obsessed with this microplane grater, and I probably use it entirely too much. But I love, and I'm not a gadget girl.
Nope.
aside from a juicer, like this guy, you know, I mean, this, the microplane grater, a can opener, and a peeler, you know, I mean, that's about it. And which was hard for me because when I worked at Viking, I was supposed to be selling everything, you know, I mean, that's what I did. And anyway, but yeah, I love the microplane grater. And then look, get two and keep one in your bathroom for your calluses, buddy. And I mean, you're going to be in business.
Just don't get them
right there.
Don't get them
exactly. You're going to have two.
Ew, that's so gross. Okay, my second question. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to anticipate what you might answer. Sour, salty, bittersweet, or savory? What's your go-to? Sour, salty, bittersweet, or savory?
Sweet.
Ah.
Sweet. It is. It's the thing that I crave. I have a terrible sugar addiction. And so, yeah, but it's only at night and it's only after I've eaten supper. And I mean, it's like Katie bar the door. If I can't find something sweet, I will be over there in the bacon chocolate. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like I'm in the bacon chocolate.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, like a half open bag of toffee bits. And I'm like, I mean, it's terrible.
I'm like, how many points is 12 chips? That's my life now. How many damn Weight Watcher points is 12 chocolate chips? This I know, unfortunately, by heart. Okay, so there's so much great stuff, and I know that we've got folks saying that you need a TV show, and I know that people can find you occasionally on the Today Show. Who are some of the folks that you like to watch? Like, I know you're super busy, but when you're scrolling on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, is there anyone that has been inspiring you?
Okay, so I do want to tell, there is the most adorable girl who was a precious Trident here. She was the social chair. Then she married. Of course, we did her wedding. And now she has this Instagram. And it's called Hooker, what is it? The Hungry Hooker. The Hungry Hooker. Okay, and she is adorable. She's KD. Okay, excuse me. Oh, sorry. She is a KD. My KD. Media girls just told me she's KD. Anyway, and I want you to watch this, and I want you to look at it because she is kind of doing what I love and what I believe in, but at a younger sort of vibe, you know, which is so much fun to kind of go back and look at that and sort of see, you know, she's newly married, you know, she'll probably start having children soon. And that's a whole generation that is so completely different from when I was there. But she's still kind of working in some of these things that are incredibly familiar to me. And it's very refreshing to see.
Oh, that's so cool. No, I checked her out. It says, just a girl that grew up with the last name Hooker. Good for her, man. Embrace it and throw it up on Instagram. Yeah. That's today's modern age. That's for sure. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, this is my good friend Carol from college. She's walking. She's hilarious. Oh my God, Carol Lawrence. The three of us getting together would make an arrest. I had to think through that a little bit. Like,
oh God, not today. Not today.
Oh my God, it's so awesome to see you. I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. And I love your book. I love your book This Way Better. I love your book This Way Better.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to see all the great stuff that you're doing and your success. I'm gonna put this up here if people want to find out more about you. They can go to Elizabeth Heiskell. She's got great Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So thank you so much for being a guest on the show.
Thank you.
Yay.
I appreciate it, Virginia. I love you. Hi,
Oh my God, y'all, that was so much fun. I could just talk to her for hours. I want to thank y'all so much for joining today. I'm super excited about Elizabeth as a guest today. And we have got this incredible lineup this fall. I'm super excited. Next weekend is Erin McDowell. Let me see who else we've got. We've got Carrie Morey Bailey, Dory Greenspan, Francisco from Modernist Cuisine, Kevin Mitchell, David Shields, Bobby Shealy, Belinda Smith-Sullivan, Kevin Belton, Rose Levy-Barenbaum, Rebecca Lang. I mean, like the hits just keep coming. It's really exciting. So I get to talk each and every week to people who have made beautiful cookbooks. And so for more about it and more information and to follow me and all that kind of good stuff, I want you to visit my website, virginiawillis.com. So thank you so much for joining me today. And bon appetit, y'all. Bye-bye now.